The mother brings her son to clean floors for a wealthy family, but the child's eyes keep looking at the cake on the table. When his mother leaves, the boy quickly stands up and secretly eats a piece of cake he has never had before. Just then the young master suddenly returns. The boy enthusiastically greets the young master, with the piece of cake still in his mouth, which makes him a laughingstock. The young master even gives him the nickname the Cross-Eyed, and then kicks a ball at him. The mother rushes in, profusely apologizing and begging the young master for forgiveness. But who would have thought that this tearful boy is the global football king Pelé? He is the only player to have won 3 World Cups. Even more remarkably, the Nigerian Civil War was previously halted for 2 days because of a Pelé football match. As a child, Pelé lived in a slum. His family's circumstances were extremely poor. Pelé was a good boy, often going out to shine shoes to earn a little money for the family, and football was his only hobby. But his mother strongly objected, because his father was once a professional player, but due to an injury he could no longer play football. He could only work cleaning toilets to support the family, and the mother did not want Pelé to follow in his father's footsteps. But some passions truly cannot be stopped. Pelé often sneaks out to find friends to play football since the family was poor and had no money for a ball. He secretly took clothes drying next door to make a ball, turning the cramped alley into his football field. Pelé's football skills improved steadily in such an environment. In 1950, Brazil reached the World Cup final against Uruguay. Everyone across the country had immense expectations, but the home team ended up losing. Pelé's father cried, and Pelé also cried. Seeing his father sad, he promised him that he would definitely win the World Cup for Brazil. Looking into Pelé's clear eyes, his father felt a sense of comfort. Afterward, Pelé secretly registered to participate in a youth cup behind his mother's back as soon as he was on the field. Pelé performed brilliantly, helping his team win with great ease. But indeed, the spectators outside were mocking them, because the whole team couldn't afford to buy football boots. So the opponents ridiculed them as the barefoot bunch with white eyes. And to buy football boots for the match, the children stole peanuts from the Capital's factory. Fortunately, they ran fast and weren't caught selling the peanuts. They earned a little money, just enough to buy a few pairs of hand-me-down shoes. But how could they win the match with ill-fitting shoes? Quickly, Pelé's team was utterly defeated, losing by 6 goals just then. Pelé saw his father watching the match. He remembered a saying from his father, "Don't care about the looks of others. Just be yourself." So Pelé took off the ill-fitting football boots, retrieved the ball amidst the laughter of others. He juggled the ball and lifted it with the top of his foot, turned around to control the ball with his shoulder, and then gained momentum to skillfully flick the ball over another player's head. All the spectators were stunned in disbelief. After dribbling past all 11 players, Pelé scored a goal. The audience was speechless, then burst into joyful cheers. The entire small team proceeded to take off their shoes. Some even go in shirtless because their jerseys were too tight. The football pitch then became Pelé's performance stage. Pelé scored 3 consecutive goals in a short amount of time. Unfortunately, the final whistle blew with Pelé's team losing 5-6. But all the spectators applauded and chanted Pelé. Just then the factory workers found the children. To evade the workers' pursuit, Pelé and his friends hid in a cave by the flooded riverbank. But the heavy rain caused the cave to collapse instantly. Only Pelé managed to escape while Thiago, his friend, was buried in the earth and had passed away. Pelé was full of remorse, sobbing to his mother, "It was because we stole the peanuts to buy football boots. If it weren't for those stupid shoes, Thiago wouldn't have died. It's my fault, Mom. I killed him." From then on, Pelé gave up the sport he loved. But his father knew that the fire of passion for football still burned within him. And to reignite his son's fighting spirit, he picked a mango from a tree and began juggling it like a football. The father's persistence finally awakened the burning love for football in Pelé. He not only learned unique football skills from his father, but also learned how to persevere and never give up on his dream. Time flew by, and 5 years later, Pelé had grown up quickly. Over those 5 years, Pelé's mother witnessed his persistence and intense love for football. She no longer stopped him and even found the scout Brito for Pelé. Brito warmly invited Pelé to join his team, making Pelé happily embrace his mother. The day before he left, Pelé's mother advanced 2 months of her salary to buy him new clothes and shoes. In his heart, Pelé knew he would never betray his parents' devotion. But the coach yelled, This kind of football is the monkey business I'm talking about. Pelé was forbidden from using the Jenga style of play. Pelé had thought that coming to Santos, he could develop himself, but he was unexpectedly treated so unfairly. Pelé should have made it into the professional team, but was suddenly relegated to playing with the youth team, and he couldn't adapt to the coaching staff's European style of play. He couldn't even score a penalty kick on the field. He was like a cockroach lying on its back, losing all confidence, even making him doubt himself. He forced himself to practice the new style of play all night without making any progress. He finally chose to give up. But luckily the scout Brito witnessed everything. He quickly found Pelé at the train station and explained the origins of the Jenga style to Pelé. It originated from the Brazilian martial art of Jenga, used to fight against Portuguese colonizers during the era of slavery. Later, Jenga masters devised a way to play football to conceal their identity, gradually becoming the unique artistic football style of Brazil. In a historic match, it astounded people. But unfortunately, Brazil lost the World Cup final in 1950, causing the public to blame it all on this Jenga style. But the art of Jenga in you is on a new level. Can you prove to us what the Jenga style can do? If you have the courage, stay and prove it. Or you can get on the train and give up and you'll never know. And of course Pelé chose to stay. A few days later he was called into an important match, where his team was quickly losing 3-0. Pelé was hit hard. In a daze he saw his father standing up again. He decided to use the Jenga style. He lightly jumped up and cushioned the ball with his chest. He completely ignored the coach's reprimands, only seeing Pelé rushing toward the ball alone. Using the nutmeg technique and then spinning the ball past, he faced 3 opponents closing in on him. Pelé gently flicked the ball up to the amazement of everyone, finishing with an incredibly beautiful reverse bicycle kick. Pelé thought the coach would scold him, but unexpectedly he asked him to do it again. Receiving the trust, Pelé's ball control no longer felt hesitant. Quickly Pelé surpassed one player after another. The entire football pitch became Pelé's performance. In just under 3 seasons, he led the youth team to 3 consecutive promotions, straight into the professional team. He also became the youngest captain of this professional team. Very quickly Pelé's name became famous, making his father at home and able to contain his excitement every time Pelé scored against an opponent. And today was the day Brazil announced its World Cup squad. The whole family sat anxiously listening to the radio, read the names. They waited and finally Pelé's name was called. But upon entering the national team, Pelé did not have an easy time. It should be added that the world was currently trending towards the European school of football. Because of losing the final, Brazilians had abandoned the flamboyant style of play. Pelé's Jenga style was once again rejected by the national coach, who scolded him and forbade him from using Jenga. And not being able to play the Jenga style caused Pelé to lose all form. From then on he mostly sat on the bench. When he was finally allowed to play, his unstable mentality led to an injury. Pelé increasingly became a negatively criticized player and was gradually disliked by everyone. He could only watch his teammates play. Fortunately, his teammates played very well, advancing past the group stage and heading straight into the final round. Unfortunately, their 3 top attacking players were also injured in the next match against the powerful Soviet Union team. With no one left, the coach was forced to put the 17-year-old Pelé onto the field. Facing tens of thousands of spectators made Pelé feel dizzy. He was like a headless fly on the field, being knocked around by opponents like a lifeless object throughout the match. Fortunately, a victory by his teammates helped them win with great difficulty. In the semi-final they had to face the stronger French team. This time Pelé was still clumsy as before, because he couldn't play football the way the European style was structured. Quickly the Brazilian team was down by 1 goal after the first half. During halftime Pelé found the injured midfielder José. "I can't play like you if your leg is well. Go back out." Unexpectedly, José said, "You're Brazilian. Prove to everyone the beauty of the Jenga style. Now is the time we needed." In the second half his injury began to flare up again. But with the encouragement of his teammate José, Pelé was determined not to let the home team lose. And this is when his performance began beautifully. Like a scorpion waving its tail, he skillfully dodged gently, dribbling the ball past 5 or 6 players. Pelé's Jenga style quickly penetrated the French defense. Pelé expertly controlled the ball to flick it up, then volleyed it straight into the opponent's net, scoring a spectacular goal. Everyone cheered with joy. His teammates were thrilled. The Europeans who had insulted him were forced to shut up. Yet they still thought the goal was due to luck. But then Pelé scored another goal. Truly his performance was extraordinary. In just 20 minutes, Pelé slapped the face of the Europeans with a hat trick, helping the Brazilian team reach the final. But their opponent, Sweden, was nicknamed the Nordic Giant. Everyone considered the Brazilian team to be underdogs because of their small stature. Even the coach couldn't figure out how to defeat Sweden. Everyone felt discouraged. At this moment, Pelé called his father. His father encouraged him, saying, "You have achieved what you have today because of the coach and your teammates guiding you. And now is the time for you to build confidence in them." The next day, as everyone ate breakfast in silence, Pelé did something completely unexpected. He suggested everyone juggle the ball to the lighthouse. Jose immediately joined in. And indeed, this method was truly effective. They continued to juggle the ball through the messy kitchen, past the hotel reception desk. Astonishing the guests, this scene was witnessed by the head coach. He finally understood that Brazilian football should be played with freedom and spontaneity. He immediately called the players together and said, "From now on you will not be forced to follow any tactics. Everyone play with your most authentic self." Finally, the final match arrived. All the people of Brazil gathered in front of the TV with the hope that their team would win the championship. The whistle blew and Pelé was quickly pushed down. The Swedish team therefore stole the ball and scored a goal. Just when everyone thought Brazil would lose, Pelé looked at the jeering spectators. Pelé's fighting spirit completely ignited. "You look down on us, so we will defeat you alone." Pelé passed many players just like a dancer performing the samba. His ginga style astounded the audience. A simple feint easily tricked the goalkeeper, setting up his teammate for an incredibly beautiful goal. Everyone was in disbelief. Pelé ignited the confidence of the players. Immediately after came the second goal. All the European spectators seemed shocked, but Pelé was not stopping at all. The samba dancers seemed to be dancing on the field. It no longer seemed like mere football. They had elevated it to an art form. And then the third goal inevitably arrived. The people of Brazil were overjoyed. The father choked up, unable to say anything more. And finally Brazil defeated the Nordic Giant with a score of 5-2. Becoming the absolute World Cup champions in 1958. They created a miracle by being themselves. Football truly needs such beautiful styles of play, instead of boring defensive double-decker buses. Pelé also became the youngest player ever to win the World Cup. But his legend is even greater. Pelé is the only player in history to have been red-carded and sent off, and then invited to continue the match. And Pelé's name is mentioned in over 90 songs. He only has one weakness after retiring. Whenever he predicts which team will win, the opposite result occurs, much like a contrarian in contemporary football commentary. What do you think of this football king? Please give me your opinion. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the entire film. What do you think of this film? Please leave your opinions below so Wolzard knows. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support me. Bye.